and welcome back to Pixel Science. Hi guys, this is Won't Back Down. This is a guest recording for Pixel Science in our WorldEdit series, so welcome back. Now, what we're going to do today is just discuss WorldEdit, what it is and how you would use it, because I know a lot of people out there want to use WorldEdit and they probably struggle with knowing how exactly to install WorldEdit and how to use it. So today we are going to be doing a quick explanation of how to install WorldEdit and the types of ways that you would do that. Okay, so first of all, the first thing we're going to do is discuss setting up your own Minecraft server. Now, you may not wish to do this, but if you are wanting your own server where you can bring your friends and they can play and you can whitelist the server so only the people you invite can be invited, then a server is what you need. I am not affiliated, well, we at Pixel Science are not affiliated at all with ShopBite, but this is just an example of a company. This is the company we use for our server, but it's not the only company. There are many companies out there. We don't get anything for recommending ShopBite. It's just the one that we know how to use. So there are a couple of different options, and I will just pull up a notepad and I will just type out a few options for you. If you want to use WorldEdit, WorldGuard, and some advanced tools, you can do so in a number of ways. The first way is to have your own server. So let's just write that in. Option 1, server. Option 2, single player world. That's just a basic one you could do. Okay, single player world / Minecraft on your computer. Okay, now there are two different ways to play Minecraft. Obviously, you can play as a single player world, you can play in someone else's realms or someone else's world, and then you are subject to the permissions that they set on those realms or those servers. I'm sure you've seen that. Some servers, if you go in, you're in adventure mode only, that kind of thing. So, if you want to have your own world and you want to have full control of your own world, we recommend option 1, the server. However, if you don't want to pay the monthly fee for a server, and there is always a monthly fee, whether you get your server from Minecraft or like Minecraft Realms, or if you get your server from a server company, there's always a monthly fee similar to Netflix, and that's what you have to pay. So if you don't want to pay that, but you still want to build worlds with WorldEdit, you can try the second option, single player world, Minecraft on your computer. So the differences here are that if you have a server, it is possible to install WorldEdit or WorldGuard as a plugin. Now, if you have, and the reason you can do that is that you can install the plugin to the server in the server console. I will take you through how you would do that. If you have a single player world, it's a little more complicated. You will need to run a Forge server, well, a Forge installation on your computer, and you will need to run mods. Now, you'll often hear this discussed, plugins and mods, and I will briefly discuss the difference. A plugin is something that you can attach to an outside source. So, for example, a server. A mod is something that lives on your local computer. Now, The difference is there's a lot of available mods or available plugins depending what has been developed. You cannot always find the same mods available as plugins. It's not always possible. So, you might be disappointed if you go one way or the other because the mod you want might not be available as a plugin. One moment, I'm just going to turn the music down on my Minecraft thing because it's too noisy. Okay. So, now while this might sound very complicated and very difficult, it's in fact pretty easy. So, I'm going to delete all of this and let's begin with how to run your own server in Minecraft. And it is not as difficult as it seems. So, alright, step 1. You obviously need Java Edition. Not Lava Edition, Java Edition. Why? If you do not know why, it is because Java Edition is the original Minecraft. Oh my god. Original. Now, Bedrock Edition is the Xbox, PlayStation, I'm not sure if it's actually PlayStation, but I think it is, Xbox, PlayStation, and iPad Edition. Now, on the Bedrock Edition, you can install your own server. You certainly can, but you cannot use WorldEdit, as far as I'm aware, on the Bedrock Edition. It's not that easy. So for this episode, we're going to be talking about the Java Edition. The Java Edition you need to pay for, so you need to purchase and download. Okay, step 2. Once you have Java Edition purchased and downloaded, the next thing you need to do is search around the internet and find the server operator that you would like to use and purchase a server. I will show you the process for doing that with ShopBite. It's pretty simple. Once again, I don't work for ShopBite. I get nothing for recommending ShopBite. I'm not recommending them or selling ShopBite. We use it, so it's what I know how to use. I'm assuming most server companies will look like this. So, they have plans. So, you can start this for as simple as 1 gigabyte of RAM per month, 1 gigabyte of RAM server, 8 slots, which is quite low, and $2.50 per month. You have $5 per month, $7.50 per month, $10 per month. Now, any of these plans is totally fine. For the Java Pixel server, we are working on some larger builds, which involves pasting up to 300-400 blocks at a time, maybe 500 blocks at a time. And we did begin using I believe it was the 2 gigabyte RAM server, or perhaps it was the 3 gigabyte RAM server. That was okay, but it did glitch out a lot. And so we are now up to, I think we are on the 5 gigabyte server at the moment. And that's just if you're doing some larger builds. If you're just playing by yourself and you want to just practice, you can always get the cheaper version. And with this company, at least, you can upgrade at any time and downgrade at any time. So let's just, for example, investigate how you would do that. So you would add the Minecraft server to your shopping cart. Obviously, you need to get approval from whoever's paying that you're allowed to do this. And then you would go through the steps and purchase your server. It's pretty simple. It's not that complicated. The company does everything for you. Now, we have a backend section which I will show you. Just search for it. Okay, multi-craft login. And okay. So we have our control panel here. So all your Minecraft servers will have something similar to this. In this instance, our server is called Java Pixel. Now, very important, the first thing that you need to do when you set up a server is choose obviously the name of the server. This is automatic, the player slots, depending on the plan that you purchase. If you purchase the 1 GB plan, that player slots would say 6. Ours says 80 because we have a higher plan. This here, server address. This is what you need to give to your friends. This is the address of your server. So it's called an IP address. This first part here is the IP, and this second part here is the port. In a Java server, you put it all together in one go and you load it up, no problem. You want to give your world a name. It doesn't matter what name you give, just you need to give your world a name. Because if you want to find the world later and download that world, you need to know what it's called. So it's important to name it something you remember. Now, you'll see here our memory is 5 gigabytes, 5,000 megabytes. That's our memory there. The first thing you need to do is go to the server types and choose which server to select. Now this looks very daunting if you have not done this before. The one that you want to use is paper. Well, if you're following this guide, the one that you want to use is paper. And the reason that we are using paper is because paper is a Bukkit type server, a Bukkit type installation of Minecraft. Server type is paper Bukkit. So what that means is that if you are running a Bukkit server, you can use Bukkit plugins. And that's very important. If you choose a Spigot server or a Forge server or a Fabric or vanilla server, you will not be able to use Bukkit plugins. So very important. What I've found was the server that works the best is not the exact latest one, but the last one. So what we've been using is 1.18.1. And that's quite easy because there's no bugs there and your friends can easily use the same update. The other reason that we found that 1.18.1 was a better choice because obviously if you look here, there is the choice of 1.18.2. A lot of the mods are not exactly updated so fast. So the WorldEdit mod at the moment is for 1.18.1. So I think it's more important to get a slightly older version because then you won't have any problems. So we have paper 1.18.1 and you go ahead and save your server. And once you've done that, you can start the server. Our server is already started. And you can go in here, you have your server console, which shows that wbackdown, which is me, is currently online. You can enter commands into this console, such as like op wbackdown, which is me. It will say this player is already an operator. You could deop wbackdown. And now I am no longer an operator. And if you want to see what that looks like, when I go into the game, I can no longer change the weather. Look at that. I put in the /weatherclear command and it will not let me. So if I was to op myself, one second. Let's change the time. Time set day. I would not have been able to do that before. Okay. So that's the console. If you ever have problems with your server, if it bugs out, crashes, you would want to go into this console, stop the server, restart the server. This is your back end for control. Okay. Some very simple housekeeping when you set up your server. You would want to go to Files, Configuration Files, and you would want to go to Server Settings. Now this is where you can choose the basic parameters of your server, such as, are monsters allowed to spawn? Enabled or disabled? That just means yes or no. PvP, yes or no. Hell world, etc, etc, etc. So you can go through that. You can change all of these things, even down to the server message. So change that to what's up because it was a Minecraft server. Anyway, this is quite interesting to play with. There's certain things you don't need to play with, like the tick time and things like that. That's a bit more advanced, but this is just where you can see the opportunities that you have. Okay. Now, okay, so let's say that you purchased your server, you've set it up with paper version 1.18.1, and you've done some basic configuration, made yourself a server operator, and now you're ready to go into your world. Well, how would you do that? The easiest way is to come into the, well, I'll go right back. How about that? I'll go all the way back to the beginning and I'll show you exactly how to do that. Okay. So, on launching Minecraft, you will appear in the screen where you have the different editions you want to use. Make sure you're using Java Edition. Now, very importantly, when you launch Minecraft and it comes up with that red Mojang screen, you're launching Minecraft in a specific version of Minecraft. So before you do that, you need to choose which version you're launching. So it's very easy to come in here and just hit the play button. But what you might not have noticed before is here on the side, you have this little box with a drop-down menu. Now that is your version installations. So what you need to do is come across up here, you have these tabs, Play, Installations, Skins, and Patch Notes. You want to go to Installations. Now, for every version of Minecraft that you set up in your server, you might have multiple servers or you might just have one, you need to have a new installation of the game so that you can play the game in the right version. So let's go through and delete this one and I will show you how to do that. So by default, you would have an installation of the latest release of Minecraft, Java Edition. If you went to play that, you would be playing in version 1.18.2. So let's go ahead and do a new installation. So I'm going to click on New Installation. You can name this installation whatever you like. I'm just going to name it Java Pixel because that's the name of our server. Very importantly, you need to choose the version. So let's go ahead here and choose our version, which is 1.18.1. Okay. You don't need to worry about this other stuff down here. I'm going to create. Now you see here it is, Java Pixel 1.18.1. Very important that when you come into Minecraft, you do not launch the wrong installation because if you do, you won't be able to connect to your server. And it's one of those things where you won't know why and it will make you feel crazy and you just won't understand. So, very important, if you want to play on a server that you have set up in 1.18.1, you need to launch the correct version of Minecraft. So let's go ahead and do that. I've selected Java Pixel 1.18.1 and I'll hit play. And when you have a server and you're sharing it with multiple friends, it's very important to explain this to them. Probably if you do a Zoom call with your friends and show them, that's the best, because it's a very easy way to get confused, and then your friends won't be able to connect. So up here, you can tell you're in the right version because it says up here, Minecraft version 1.18.1. Okay, I'll make this full screen. So you could play a single player world, but if you want to play in your server that you've just set up, you must go to multiplayer. Okay, so I already have this set up here, but I'm going to delete it. And I'm going to delete it to prove something to you, because a lot of the time, when people first get a server, they get very worried that if they delete the server link inside their launcher, it will delete the world. Well, that's not how it works. So let's delete this. Okay. So, remember, our server is here. It's hosted with this company, ShopBite, and it's still running. And we can check that by going here. I have two servers, Java Pixel and Super Patitas. So Java Pixel is a Java server. It has a green tick. It's currently running. So let's click into that. Now, the server address is right here. So this is what you would need to tell your friends to do so they can find you. You need to add server. And up in the top here, it doesn't matter what you name it. You can name it my server, my friend's server, whatever you like. I'm going to name it Java Pixel, so I know what it is. And then I'm going to paste, and that's just copy V, Control V, if you didn't know, paste. So you just check that that's right, and it needs to be exactly as it is here. If it's not exactly as it is there, it won't work. So then we press done. Okay, and now we have our server. And you can see that it's working because it has the ping connection speed here, and we can go ahead and connect. If it goes through the joining, encrypting, loading world, and then it fails to work, you've done something wrong. So you need to go back and do that again. Okay, let's move to the second part. So WorldEdit is an amazing tool for doing large builds and a lot of extra things in Minecraft that you might want to do so that you can set up a really exciting world for your friends to play in. So I'm sure you can see in my in this Java Pixel server we have here, I've built this house. Now you could build this house in survival mode, but that would take a very long time. There are obviously things that you would want to do by hand, but if you would like me to show you the power of WorldEdit, I can just give you an example very quickly by pulling up a list of some schematics that I have. Okay, all right. Okay, so just as an example, schematic load Colombian church .schem. So that's a schematic that I have made of a Colombian church. So you can see straight away why WorldEdit is so valuable, because this is a church that I made, and then I copied the entire thing and I made a schematic, which is like a blueprint, so I can paste it anywhere I like. And that's pretty cool. WorldEdit, you can do really anything you like. You are only limited by your imagination. So don't want to put that there. I just go / undo. Okay, so as you can see, WorldEdit is a really powerful tool, and something that I have learned is that a lot of people don't have powerful PCs. They might be playing on a laptop, playing on Java version, but they still want the luxury of using WorldEdit. And this is where a plugin comes in. So it's very simple. Inside a, just going to turn the music down again. One moment. Okay. Inside your server, you will have a section called Files. Inside that section, you will have a plugin list. Now, the simplest way to install WorldEdit is to search up a Bukkit type plugin, because remember we installed a Bukkit version called Paper for our server type, and so we're going to search for Bukkit Plugin. Now, I'm going to search for WorldEdit. And there it is, WorldEdit for Bukkit. Okay, so it's pretty simple. You click on WorldEdit for Bukkit and you click on install. Wait, before I mention that, it's very important before you do any of that stuff to stop your server. So you need to stop your server from inside the server controls. And if you look at the console, it will say server stopped. There you go. And whenever you're doing updates to your server, you should stop the server, because you could do something by mistake and possibly lose a lot of hard work or something. So now that our server is stopped, we're going to go to Files, Plugin List, Bukkit Plugins, WorldEdit, and WorldEdit for Bukkit. There we are. Okay, so click on that, and then you can just click on install. It's pretty simple. And I'll save you the having to see, but I already have WorldEdit installed. So as a plugin on this server. So okay, and I also have WorldGuard installed as well. So that's it for how to, whoops, and then you can start your server again. And if you want to watch your server start up, I sometimes like to, it says blah blah blah, loading libraries, and then it starts up, and then it should say something like server started. Once it's done, preparing level pixelated, that's our world, blah 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 blah, startup done, and then our server is running. And then we know our server is running because it has a green tick, and then we can go ahead and use it. See, it appears again. And that is it for how to install WorldEdit. So thank you very much, and we're going to do a series on these videos, and the next one is going to be how to install WorldEdit as a mod on your computer. And the reason that we started with plugin of WorldEdit is because it's the least intensive on your computer, and installing mods can really slow down your computer system, especially if you want to do YouTube videos. It can make your computer run very slow and make everything very glitchy. So thank you for watching the first episode of our WorldEdit series, and we will see you next time. Thank you very much.